Alright, so if you're a player who wants to go pro in Fortnite, this is a must-watch video. This is going to be a very raw and like pretty uncut video. I mean, I'm going to have to edit out some things, but overall it's going to be just raw, uncut, not high pace. So just treat it as a podcast and let it play in your ear and really understand what I'm saying. Now, if you're someone who takes this game seriously and you want to be pro, but you haven't made any earnings yet, or have only made, $100 earned or something like that, and you've been playing the game for a year plus seriously, then this is the right video for you. Or if you're someone who's just trying to get into Fortnite competitive and hasn't started yet, this is also a video for you. Now, a quick backstory on me, just so you know, I'm not a kid who's bullshitting. I was literally a terrible Fortnite player for my whole life, you know what I'm saying? And then I took like 9 months out of my life. I would say 9 months. Yeah, about 10 months out of my life and completely dedicated it to Fortnite because I wanted to go pro. And then in November of 2024, I decided to quit the game because it wasn't in my best interest, and I'm getting to an age where I feel like it wasn't the best decision for me. Now, with that being said, I still improved drastically, a crazy amount over the 9 months, of course. Obviously, it's a long time, but I did a lot of good things to improve my skill over those 9 months. At the same time, though, looking back on it, there are a lot of things that I wish I did better at. I was better at, and I did differently during my journey. So that is what I'm going to tell you guys in this video. I was able to boil it down to just 3 main points, and all these points are very important, and you need to listen to all these if you want a chance at going pro. Alright, so just hopping right into the first one, and that is you only play the game when you want to. Now, this is a very simple, tip, or not, it's not even a tip. This is a very simple principle, but I mean, dude, you'd be surprised how many people get it wrong. If you're trying to go pro in anything in life and you're trying to be the best at it, I mean, you have to just grind at it. You know what I mean? For me, this wasn't very hard because I was very obsessed with the game. Like, I wanted to be very good. So I was on all the time 24/7. But for a lot of people who want to go pro, they don't want to play the game. And like there's tier 1 pros like Cold and Peter Bot at times where they just take breaks and they don't play the game. You know what I'm saying? They're not obsessed with it anymore. My point is, if you're on the come up and you're trying to get good at the game, you need to play the game no matter what. You need to be on the game for hours a day, grinding. Like, that is just a no-brainer. That is a must. You can't just get on when you want to. You have to get on every day, whether you like it or not. That is part of the process. The second tip, and you're going to realize all these tips kind of blend together. Like, these 3, they all kind of blend together, but they're all different in their own way. So the second tip is, I wrote down, you're not working on the things you need to work on, / you're intentionally or unintentionally avoiding your weaknesses. So let me break this down for you. First, the first part is just you're not working on things you need to work on. I found this was something I struggled with. I found that I got so obsessed with wanting to have good mechanics and what else? Just improving my aim and my edit speed. A lot of things like that versus, again, I wasn't an IGL, but I was putting off, learning how to rotate. I was putting off in-game fighting. I was putting a lot of that stuff off because it wasn't stuff that I wanted to do. So that leads into the second part of that statement, which is you're intentionally or unintentionally avoiding your weaknesses. At times, I was intentionally avoiding my weaknesses by thinking to myself, oh, I know I'm not that good at, rotating endgame, but I don't really want to scrim right now, so I'm not going to. You know what I mean? Or you can unintentionally avoid your weaknesses by not watching the VODs, you know what I'm saying? Not VOD reviewing, and not ever seeing what your weaknesses are. Therefore, you're not improving on them, right? So another simple principle there. Work on the things you need to work on. You know what I mean? You can have amazing edits, but if you suck at rotating or your aim's ass or whatever it is, then you're not going to go pro. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen. And the third tip, which is honestly, it might be the most important, probably not, but it's still a key factor if you want to go pro, and it is you're not getting the proper practice. Let me explain this one. It's very simple, and I think most people have this down, but some people, just don't even think about this, and it's the reason why they are not improving and are not going to be able to go pro. So when you everyone, I'm going to try and break this down for you guys. Okay, so essentially, just to put it in the simplest terms, you need to be playing against people that are your skill level or preferably better than you. And I feel like if you've wanted to go pro, you've heard this before, and this is just, it's what makes sense. Iron sharpens iron. If you are a certain skill level and you're always practicing and playing against people that are worse than you, you're not going to improve. You know what I mean? As much as it might suck to get shit on over and over again, you are going to improve more if you're getting shit on than if you shit on someone 100 times. You know what I mean? So what I can recommend to you guys is let's say if you're an average or below average player trying to go pro, loading into like 1v1 fills is most likely fine for you. You'll most likely find someone in your skill level or better than you. But if you are, at a higher echelon, you have earned, or you're just already a decent player, then I recommend joining certain Discord servers, and you should easily be able to find people you can 1v1. Better yet, if you have a friend that if you're duoing with, or sorry, if you're trioing with, then and if they're good at the game, I'm hoping, then you know you can practice with them, right? It's a very simple principle, but you can waste so much time just playing against people that aren't good, and like you don't realize you're not improving, you know what I mean? So again, while in the moment it's gonna feel like you're getting shit on and you're not improving, believe me, every time you get shit on, try to realize what mistakes you made, and even subconsciously eventually you will just fix those mistakes, you know what I mean? So yeah, guys, that's all the tips I really have for you today. So I'm gonna leave you all the quote real quick, and it's I'm reading a financial book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a great book, and there's a quote in there that I read, and it stuck with me, and it says, knowledge of what one wants with a burning desire to possess it. And that is truly how you achieve success. I mean, it's a pretty simple quote, and y'all can just think about it, but it's truly true. If you want to go pro in Fortnite, you can do it. You just have to want it so much and grind for it, and grind for it the right way with the tips that I just presented.